Yeah, I missed that Pac-12 championship game. Totally blew the prediction. I'm going to tell you why in just a second. We got some film review, and we're going to talk about some of your comments coming up right now. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Elite Athletes TV. I'm Mike Pulaski, former 11-year pro quarterback and quarterbacks coach here at EliteAthletesTV.com. Recently, I made a video with a prediction about the Pac-12 championship game. It was completely wrong. And so I'm going to tell you why I missed it so bad. We're going to look at some film, and we're going to talk about what happened in the game, kind of study X's and O's. Before we get started, if you're new to the channel, you love X's and O's, you love football content, make sure you subscribe and ring that bell. That way you get notified every time we have new stuff coming out. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to look at the postmortem on the SC Oregon game in the Pac-12 championship. And leave me a comment down below. Got some great comments on the last video. A lot of you Oregon Ducks fans got a little upset with me. It's okay. It's your obligation to support your team. But leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. And make sure you share this video out. I'd appreciate it. I'm talking to you Oregon fans, because a lot of you seem to get very upset like I don't like the Ducks. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a huge Ducks fan. I just didn't see the same Oregon team this year that the media saw going into it. Now, 2020 has been a horribly strange year. It's just been weird. But with a new offensive line, new quarterback, young defense, injuries, guys opting out, I just didn't see the same Oregon team that a lot of the media predicted to be the number one team in the North. And so if I was critical of the Ducks, it was just for that reason. It's not the team everybody predicted to win the whole thing. That said, they played fantastic in that championship game. More than them playing fantastic, though, was SC playing so poorly in that game. I predicted that SC would win at 42-21 because there was a trend of turnovers by Oregon. They were -7 on the season. And there was a trend of takeaways by USC. They were +7 on the season. That's the biggest stat in football. The more times you possess the ball or take it away from your opponents, the more times you give yourself a chance. If you turn the ball over 3 times in a game, on average, it's like 85% that you're going to lose that game. And so with that trend in place, that's what I made my prediction on. That and quarterback sacks. I thought SC's defensive line would do a much better job against that Oregon offensive line. And they did get some sacks. They did get pressures on the game. But Oregon's defensive line, and in particular, Kayvon Thibodeau, showed up for this game. And they harassed Slovis all night long. He looked confused. He looked dazed. He looked hurried out there. And so they did exactly what they were supposed to do. USC, in its first 3 drives, spotted Oregon 14 points in that game. Imagine if you take those out. Game ended up 31-24. Take away those 14 points, SC wins at 24-17. Now, you can't do that in football. I'm not saying it's not an excuse. I'm just saying when you spot a team 14 points, it changes the entire nature of the game. Oregon didn't have to go to the pass. They only threw 19 passes in that game, 242 yards total offense on the game. Once USC gave them 14 points with 2 early interceptions, they could just play as conservative as possible and let their defense try to keep them in the game. They didn't have to try to force anything on offense. Completely changes the game plan. As an offense, when you have a 14-point lead, you can run the ball as much as you want. When I did that initial video, I'll put the link right here, even though it was a bad prediction, I was saying stats, overall stats, don't matter. Some of you got confused thinking that I was saying stats don't matter, that I'm quoting stats. When I was quoting sacks and takeaway turnover ratio, those are trends to me. They are stats, but they're trends. What does a team do with the football? Do they give it away or do they take it away? That tells you a lot about a team. Sacks, what kind of defensive pressure can they put on somebody? That's a trend. How many sacks are they getting per game? So those are trends to me more than they're sacks. And those are the things that I look at as an analyst going into games. So if you didn't understand that, I probably didn't get it right in terms of the way I put it out there. But a lot of you were saying that I was predicting it based on stats when I said stats don't matter. Your total offensive numbers don't matter in an individual game. Look at Oregon, 240 some odd total yards. But they won the turnover battle, so they were +2 in takeaways, and they won the sack battle. They got 3 to USC's 2. And those were the biggest stats. I was absolutely right about that. Turnovers and sacks predicted and changed this game. And I'm going to show you the 3 biggest plays to me in the game, the 3 interceptions. I'm going to tell you why they happened right now. So, first quarter, first drive for USC, game is tied 0-0. It's 3rd and 10. and USC is looking for that first down, trying to get the big play. In terms of the route, all you're going to see is, looks like a seam route, vertical seam route here by Drake London. A stop, comeback by both of these receivers on the outside. Some people call it a Puma route. And you're going to get that same Puma or curl comeback on the outside, on the top, by Tyler Vaughns. What Kedon Slovis does is he stays locked in to this route down the middle. And you can watch him as he drops, he gets back and never resets his feet. His feet are pointed towards a throw here. When he goes to throw to the outside to the comeback, curl comeback late, or Puma, whatever you want to call it, he doesn't get his feet set. He throws it behind the receiver and makes it a super simple pick for Lenore Diamador. And so we'll watch this real quick, and I'll show you an end zone shot. As a QB, if you've studied film, you know that Oregon plays that 3 match, and they bring the cross dog in the middle. So you're getting it right here. Thirds, but it's matched, so it ends up being man coverage on the inside, high safety, post safety in the middle. They're bringing the cross dog with the backers in the middle. It's been on film a bunch, and they're going to end up leaving one backer in the hole, a rat, to pick up anything coming across the middle. So you should know this as a quarterback. Slovis here, as he drops, he hangs on Drake London. You can see we're still in here. Now he's coming back to throw to the outside, but his feet aren't set to throw. He needs to kick that front foot more to throw his receiver downhill, and he doesn't do it. As a result, he throws behind and late with that ball and makes it an easy interception. One time, watch Slovis' feet here. We'll do it in slow motion. Oregon rotates down to 3 match, and you can see he's looking down the middle of the field. Right now, he's looking for Drake London. That's locked up. So as a QB, at this point, you should kick, reset those feet, get that front foot pointing to your target. But Slovis doesn't. He stays in that inside passing stance. And you can see he steps forward with that front foot and doesn't step at his target. And so the way his feet are set there, you can kind of see it in here, but his feet are set this way. Front foot going that way, trying to throw out to his right. Makes it really tough to be accurate. As a result, he throws behind his receiver. Easy interception. Nothing Tyler Vaughns could have done to help him there. And a nice face masking penalty to tack it on. So that's the first one. You give him an interception, you spot him 7 points. You're still okay at that point. You're still in the game. Defense is playing decently. You can't expect them to get a stop on a super short field like that. But if your offense can get in a rhythm, you're going to be all right. But then USC has one drive. They punt. They come back on their 3rd drive, and Slovis makes another huge mistake. So now what you're going to get is short motion, post, and what should be a double post or a double over. You're going to see London come down, but he trips and falls down. He should have run that across that free safety's face or gone to the crosser. They're going to try to bring the deep over on the backside, and the shallow cross by Cromanope. So when London falls down, creates a logjam in there, but they still get this route across. You get a great play inside by Jamal Hill as he widens with this under route, but keeps his eyes on Slovis. He's going to fall off and make the interception here. So we'll run it through one time. Full speed, short motion, Amon-Ra on the post, Drake London falls down, and on the crosser, Slovis, feeling pressure, throws a shallow ball, and Hill is right there to intercept it. So at this point, SC has now spotted Oregon 14 points. There is just over half of the first quarter left, and Oregon's defense is playing well. SC's defense is also playing well, but Oregon is able to go to a very conservative offense, thinking run the ball, punt if we have to, throw when only absolutely necessary, and get out of this game with a win. So we'll go all the way to the fourth quarter now, and it's only 31-24. Remember, SC spotted Oregon 14 points. So 31-24. SC has a chance to tie this game, and Slovis has had some late game heroics so far this season, both against UCLA and Arizona State. So we're going to take a look at the very last one. The first two picks, dumb mistakes. The last one, unforgivable for a quarterback to throw the pick that Slovis threw. Let's take a look at it right now. So once again, you're just going to see that 3 match. So match down here into the boundary, man-to-man. Does an excellent job in press coverage. They're going to play 3 out to the field. All USC is doing is they're running 3 verticals. Go route, vertical route by London in the middle. Now, in the air raid system, if you don't have over the top, in a lot of systems actually, but if you can't beat your guy over the top, they'll give you the option to sit down if you have zone guys high. And so in this case, both the outside receivers sit down, and Drake London continues across. Kayvon Thibodeau, you can see he's already getting off the ball here in this snap, but he gets hard downhill pressure, forces Slovis to back up in the pocket. You get a loop. I believe it's Jordan Scott, who had a very nice game as well. Gets a loop and flushes Slovis, and then Thibodeau gets back up and gets in pursuit. When that happens, Slovis should just throw this ball away. Throw it out of bounds. As soon as you cross that tackle box, you can throw that ball away. Don't need a receiver anywhere near it. But instead, for some reason, Slovis tries to throw it away near a receiver and gets himself in big-time trouble. Going to run it through one time live here. You can see Jordan Scott comes around, gets flushed, Thibodeau gets up, and Slovis just throws this to an Oregon defender. In this case, it's Jamal Hill once again. Watch it from the end zone. Again, Thibodeau underneath. The looper is not Jordan Scott, but does a nice job of flushing Slovis. And then right here, all he has to do is throw this ball out of bounds. Just throw it away. And instead, he throws it right at an Oregon defender, Jamal Hill, who should have caught it the first time and had no choice. Upon further review, this was ruled an interception, and it effectively shut down SC's chance at a comeback. So yes, there were a ton of plays in this game, but it's always 5 to 8 that matter, that make the huge difference in any game, and these 3, the turnovers, were the biggest for USC. Did I miss my prediction? Yeah, I missed it. I predicted USC 42, Oregon 21. But I also couldn't have predicted that Slovis would have the worst game of his college career, throwing 2 interceptions to spot Oregon 14 points, and then 1 interception to absolutely ice the game for Oregon. But as the saying goes, that's why you play the game. And college football, that's why I love it so much. The NFL, much more predictable. But in college football, with youth and kids and 21-year-olds and under playing the game, emotional state, everything else is always at play. And so you never know what you're going to get in the game. The Ducks played great. SC defense played well. Their offense was awful. and Keaton Slovis was awful. And so I liked him. I think he's the best quarterback in the Pac-12, but there have been some flaws in his game this year. I did a video earlier where I agreed with Joel Klatt. I'll put the video right up here, talking about how that air raid progression system makes it tough on a quarterback when defense is disguised. And in this case, it absolutely happened. Slovis looked confused all game long. I appreciate you watching. That's, again, it's not an excuse. It's just a reason why I missed my prediction. With the information going into that game, I would probably make the same prediction again, but knowing what I know now, Oregon showed up to play. So congratulations to the Ducks. Represent the Pac-12 well on January the 2nd against Iowa State. I hope you guys play well. For the rest of the conference, I think the conference just needs to kind of lick its wounds this year. It was not a great year for the conference. We were never really in the discussion for college football playoffs, and I think absolutely appropriately so we weren't in that discussion based on choices preseason, what was going on in the conference. So hopefully conference can get back together, have a great spring ball rebound, and become relevant in the national picture again this year. Appreciate you watching. Don't forget, subscribe, ring the bell. If you want more football content, give me a thumbs up, and leave me a comment down below. Absolutely love some of your comments. By the way, there was one in particular who said, oh yeah, you played for Cal, still losing. I will say this, not to Oregon, not this year, and never as a starting quarterback. So, appreciate you watching. I'll talk to you guys again soon, and I'll be bringing you more stuff, breaking down plays, breaking down offense, and talking about the quarterback position.